Hi everyone, today I'm going to be trying out some new makeup, so if you'd like to see what I try out and what I do, just keep on watching. Okay, so starting off, I forgot to film this part, but because I'm used to doing my foundation off screen, but I am trying out the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Dewy Foundation. This is in the shade Shell Ivory. So this is, I paired it with the Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define concealer in C2, and then I set it with the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder in Transparent. This is what it is looking like on my skin right now. I want to try it out a few times before I give you like an honest review of it. But so far it's sitting nicely on the skin. It is separating a little near my smile lines, but that happens a lot with any foundation for me. Just try tapping it out here. And sometimes dewy foundations, because I do get really oily in my T-zone, but I do like dewy foundations, especially during the winter, because I do get dry skin as well. So on my chin is always where I have issues with dewy foundation. And so far it's looking alright. I don't know if you could see that well. I do have a breakout chilling right here, so the coverage is actually pretty decent too. And I will let you know if I've worn it a few more times in the drop box of this video. But yeah, so, and then I'm going to be starting on my eyes. I recently picked up the JCat Beauty Peak Time palette. This is in their Dia and Noche collection. Sorry if I'm butchering any of this right now. But it's this really colorful palette. It's a Tri-Element 15 pigment palette. They do have two other palettes in this collection, and they just say eyeshadow palette, so I don't know if these are actual pigments or not. I did swatch them, and they do seem pretty nice. And since I want to utilize a lot of the colors in the palette, I'm going to be recreating this look by Rocio Cervantes. I think that's how you say her name. I don't know. Please don't kill me. But she is here on YouTube, and I think this look is beautiful and it would really utilize a lot of the colors in the palette. So I thought I would recreate that, or attempt to recreate that today with this palette. So yeah, I'm going to dive right in. Now these do have shade names on the back, and they correspond with high risk, which is right here. It's going to be the red shade right here. So, and then so on and so forth. So I'm going to start off with the shade on the bright side, which is this yellow shade right here. This palette does not have a mirror, but I have used JCat shadows in the past. None of them, oh actually no, a few of their palettes do have mirrors actually. But I really like their eyeshadows, so hopefully this will be the case with this one as well. And I'm going to start off with this shade. There's quite a bit of kick up in the palette. Just dust that off by tapping it. And I'm going to start by running this into my crease. I'm going to bring it fairly high up. Like so. I'm doing stamping motions with it because it is a yellow, and yellows tend to not be as pigmented sometimes in palettes, so I want to stamp it on and then I will blend just to get the most pigment laid down. Okay, now that I have that laid down, I'm going to go into the shade Greatest, which is this orange shade right here. And I'm going to take the same brush, tap into that. Now there is quite a bit of kick up in the palette, which, I mean, it's not as bad as some other palettes I've used, but that's just something to note. And I'm also going to be placing this into the crease as well. This is a fairly light orange. It's not as intense as like a red orange or anything like that, or a super warm one. I do want to make sure I get it fairly high up, but don't obscure the yellow all the way. The brush I was using before was the Royal Langnickel Crease Brush of the Moto Pro. Now I'm going to go into the Royal Langnickel Moto Pro Shade Brush, which is a flatter brush, but it is still a little fluffy. And I'm going to go into the shade High Risk right here. On the back it says, like, there's little asterisks next to some of the names, and then it says not intended for eye area. But I'm still going to use it on my eye. The orange was one of those as well. I'm still going to use it on my eye. I'm assuming maybe that means like it can stain the lid, which, you know, I'm not terribly bothered by. I'm also going to use this, and I'm going to run it into the crease as well. Once again, doing tapping motions first. And lightly blending. I want there to be a nice distinction between the colors. Then I'm going to tap back into that orange shade just a little to buff out the edges. Okay, now I'm going to go into the shade P&R. This is also not intended for the immediate eye area, but I'm going to use it anyway. And I'm just taking that same brush I used for the red, tapping off the excess, and then dipping into that purple shade. This one barely has any kick up whatsoever compared to the other ones. So hopefully it has a decent amount of pigment on it. Tap off the excess. And I'm going to run this into my crease as well. I have a feeling I'm going to have to build up this color some. Also placing it on the outer corner here. Now I'm just going to build, or attempt to build. Sorry if you keep hearing my phone going off. I'll move it so it's not so close. Although I just moved it on top of stuff, so it'll probably be louder. Then I'm going to go back into that red shade, just taking the same brush. Attempt to re-intensify that color. Okay, now I'm going to take my concealer and pop some on the back of my hand here. Then I'm just taking a flat brush. I don't know where this brush came from. It has no name on it. But just any flat brush will do. Pack the concealer on there. And then use that to create a half cut crease. I like to start from the inner corner. And since I do have tapered inner corners, I do bring it in fairly far. And I like to relax my eye and kind of figure out where it'll show. So you can see that it's still going to show even when my eyes are fully relaxed. I am going to set that with a powder that matches my skin tone. I'm going to go in and re-intensify the purple because it kind of got lost in the crease. But I will do that once I get my lid shades down. I'm going to go into this flat brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm taking that yellow shade, which is called On the Bright Side, once more. And I'm going to use that to pack on to the inner like third of my lid. Now in the photo I showed you, she did have a matte eye look, but I am going to be putting some shimmer on this yellow because I do have something I want to try out. So this is just the base for that right here. Okay, now I'm going to go into this shimmery orange shade. This is called Meet Me in Wonderland. This is also a shade that is not intended for the immediate eye area. Lots of those shades in this palette, apparently. I'm going to take the Luxie 246 Precision Crease Brush, and I'm going to wet it. I'm going to dip into that. And then I'm going to place that right where that yellow is, to meet the yellow anyway. Now I'm not worried about blending it into the yellow too much. I'm going to do so a little, but when I put the shimmer on top of it, I'll do more blending then. Now I'm going to take this shimmer pink shade, which is called Festivity, also not intended for the immediate eye area. And I'm going to just re-wet my brush, but I'm going to use the other side for this. Then I'm going to place that next to the orange. And I am going to make sure these are nice and blended together. Go back and forth by just flipping the brush around and tapping into extra color. I like to tap shimmers together so that they blend instead of actually like pressing and swishing like in the crease. Now I'm going into yet another color. I'm going to go into the shade Recess, also not intended for the immediate eye area. I'm just going to use the pink side of this brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to use that for the outer corner. And then I'm going to go into that orange side and actually going to dip into the pink. Then use that to blend. And then I'm going to take my brush, where are you? It says this is a concealer brush from e.l.f., but it's like more like a detail brush. And I'm going to go back into that purple, the matte purple, and I'm going to use that to define. Is this not going to work? This is not going to work, is it? Come on, show up. Trying to see if this will work to define the crease more. Okay, it is. It's just taking a little longer than I want it to. Going into a flat brush from Wet n Wild, and I'm taking up some of the red on the tip. I'm going to hopefully intensify the red right above the purple. Okay, now that this eye look is taking forever and a day, I'm going to work on the lower lash line now. I'm going to take the shade, what are you called? Meanwhile, which is this green shade right here. And I'm going to take this brush. This is the e.l.f. Eye Crease Brush. This is like a small blending brush. I'm going to tap into that. And I'm going to tuck this on the inner third of the lower lash line. I'm taking a blending brush because I'm going to drag it down. Make sure it's soft, not too harsh. Now I'm just going to use the same brush and I'm going to go into the shade Top of the World, which is this blue. I'm going to pack that on there pretty good. Tap off the excess, and I'm going to put that on the middle of the lower lash line. I'm going to make sure I blend it into the green as well. I'm going to take like a clean brush and just kind of buff out the lower portion when I'm done. If need be, you could go back into the green. Okay, then I just wiped the excess off of that brush, and I'm going back into that matte purple shade. I'm going to use that for the outer corner of the lower lash line. And blend it better. And then I'm going to take a clean, angled, fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of lightly buff out the edges here, so it doesn't look so harsh. You know, I might even take some of my face powder to help. Okay, now I did pick up some more of the Prismetal Chrome Eye Mousses. I picked up all their holographic ones. This is one called Electra. This is the yellow. That's why I did it base, because since these are like holographic, they're not like super opaque. They're a little more on the sheer side. And I'm going to dirty yet another brush. This is one look that requires a lot of brushes and a lot of dirtying brushes. I'm going to take this little detail brush right here and dip into that. And then I'm going to place it on top of this yellow. Whew. Okay, maybe it actually is fairly opaque. Oops. I'm also going to use this for the inner corner as well. I'm just taking this flat brush from Alamar Cosmetics, dipping into that orange, and using that to blend into that color. blend it into this green a little as well. Ooh, that's so pretty! Okay, I know this tutorial is probably going to be already taking forever and a day. Why do I see like I feel a hair? Cat hair. This tutorial is already taking a while, so I'm going to throw on my eyeliner and lashes off camera. I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Liner in the shade Black. My lash glue I'm going to be using is the Kiss Strip Lash Adhesive with Aloe. And I'm going to be going in to the Tarte Big Ego Mascara. I'm going to coat my top and lower lashes with those. And then I'm going to go into the VGTE lashes, and I'm taking the style in the center right here. And I'm going to throw those on, and then I will be right back. Okay, now that took like, this eye look took like an hour, but this is what the eyes are looking like, which I am in love with. Thoughts on the palette real quick before I finish off my face is I like the palette. The purple wasn't the best. It took a little while, took a little love for the purple, but it still worked. And of course the metal chrome eye mousses, I love these. I just love them. I have so many of them already. And yeah, okay, so next I'm going to add a little bronzer to my face. This is not a new product. This is just the Makeup Revolution All About the Bronzed bronzer palette. And I'm going to be mixing these two shades right here. Sorry if you hear my stomach growling. Not putting too much on. I am going to pop some on the nose though. The BH Cosmetics Studio Pro Contour Palette, and I'm taking this shade right here. And I'm going to take my small contouring brush from Luxie. I'm going to use that to carve out my cheeks. Oops, too much. Okay, now I have another new product to try out. This is the JCat Beauty Blush Mallow Soft Blusher in the shade Just Blushin'. Now this is kind of like a cream, so I don't know what to use for this. I might just go in with this. This is like a rose brush from Wet n Wild. I might just use this. Dip into that. And hopefully this doesn't disrupt my foundation. Put some on the nose. Seems like I'm having a hard time getting that around the nose, that brush, so I'm just going to use my finger. Okay, then another new product I have. I just wanted to show this real quick because I don't think I'm going to use this today. I will use it in another tutorial, but I just got this Milani Flashing Light Hypnotic Lights highlighter for $1 at Walmart because it was on sale, so yeah, that was insane. And then I also got this Wet n Wild Hello Halo blush lighter, and I think I'm going to use this today. It's in the shade After Sex Glow. Oh my goodness, what kind of name is that? But I hate opening these because they always are such a pain in the butt. But I'm going to use one of the sides. I'm not going to use that pinky side because I don't want it to be too pinky. I'm going to use this lighter side right here. If I could speak. Okay. And I'm going to use my Wet n Wild Unicorn highlighting brush. Dip into that. Ooh, that looks hopefully not too dark. Pop that on right there. Ooh, that is pretty. And I am using a very light hand and not that much product, so it is fairly intense, I'm sure. Because it is pretty bright just by the amount I'm using. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to use that is new is this Wet n Wild Liquid Catsuit High Shine lipstick in the shade Peach Stole My Look. Now I have to open this as well because it's not open, but I do like their High Shine lipsticks. The lighter ones don't feather, but the darker ones I find do feather off my lips, so I do use lip liners with the dark ones, but don't think I'm going to need one with this. Just apply this. Okay, so this is what I'm looking like now. I got my accessories on, threw my hair up a little. Once again, here's the eye look. Really like that palette, can't wait to use it again. I really like that blusher. The highlight, so far the foundation I'm still on the fence about. The lipstick I like, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you aren't already, or if you want to, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!